I've been wanting to make this video ever since Team 4-Star announced the cancellation of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but I was afraid I would be under what the fanbase calls toxic to most of the fandom. And I'm letting you guys know right now, this isn't me being toxic. These are my opinions. Everyone's entitled to have an opinion. Anyways, I sort of expected them to cancel Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. I mean, considering the fact that it took, I assume, over a year for them to release their finale of the Cell Saga, it was clear to me that they were burnt out, and I get that. Burnout is such a terrible thing to experience. That being said, the burnout was blatantly obvious due to the number of projects they were working on simultaneously. If you think about it, they've worked on a few other Abridged series while working on Dragon Ball Z Abridged. They've also worked on different video series like, say, their list videos, their gaming videos, or even, I'm sure they've worked on other dubs for some other channels, or actually, they've worked on an official dub too. They'll stream every now and then as well. And on top of that, some of the cast members have their own YouTube channel, which means they also have to focus on their own shit as well, which makes the problem worse considering the fact that they always preferred quality over quantity. This is evident even in their earlier episodes, when they teased fans on an upcoming episode. They wanted to make everything as best as they could. That includes writing, acting, editing, quality, and appeal. You see where I'm trying to get at? 10 years is a long time, and it's understandable that you have other things to do during those 10 years. But with Team 4-Star, they had a shitload of stuff that they put on themselves. I mean, for fuck's sake, they managed to finish not one, but two Abridged series, but not finish the one that got them popular in the first place. I can't read the minds of the people at Team 4-Star, but I can only assume that the burnout was the one thing that got to them most. Considering the fact that Dragon Ball Z Abridged was one of, if not the most popular series on their channel, and since they aimed so high to fulfill the expectations fans had, and since they had to worry about Toei Animation's copyright takedowns at times, that probably put some stress on them as well. And I can only assume that they kept striving for that sort of expectation. They wanted to please fans as much as they could and keep the audience excited for new and upcoming projects and/or episodes, which was their biggest mistake. I mentioned how it took Team 4-Star at least a year to release the finale of the Cell Saga, and well, the majority of the fanbase were patient. If the fans were so patient, why not take a break? Why didn't Team 4-Star just take a break as a whole? It's a lot more complicated than it might actually seem. Considering the fact that they never had a schedule for the release of DBZA episodes, it was pretty hard to tell their audience that they needed a break since, again, they were working on other projects simultaneously. I can only assume that they took mini breaks, but that didn't really do so much considering the fact that they would work on some low-effort stuff like gaming or podcasts. Then again, I can only assume so much. Since the cancellation of DBZA, they've just been working on podcasts, came out with 2 new series, etc. And as far as I know, they continue to stream and play games on their secondary channel, TFS Gaming. They have a Twitch too. They've managed to entertain the majority of their true followers since the cancellation. But the ones who only came for DBZA have obviously left, knowing that there will never be a series as unique as Dragon Ball Z Abridged. The ones who've stayed are there to support the group as best they can, by providing funds to their Patreon and watching their streams, shorts, podcasts, anything they can provide. Although DBZA's making process was tedious, it was well worth it in the end. Though, the way they canceled it is kind of like how a person would be hesitant to do something, but when they're about to do it, they end up backing out in the end. I think that could be put in any scenario in the planning stage. And since they had that mindset to give the viewer the best they had, they felt that a reworking of a mixed review arc and movie wasn't good enough, and ended up scrapping it in the end. Thus the cancellation. I think in the future, they'll know what to do and what mistakes not to do. I mean, they've spent a whole 10 years on this series, and I'd be surprised if they made the same mistakes again. In all honesty here, I feel like the situation was dealt poorly. I feel like they shouldn't have teased a season 4, even if they felt confident they could complete it. I have a feeling they weren't entirely sure they would be able to do it, given the fact that like they think, oh shit, this thing is going to shit. It's going to be mediocre. I think we should probably cancel it. Like that's basically what it is. They just literally threw it out. Like they've been teasing this for a while. Like to some people, it feels like a slap in the face because like they were anticipating this specific part. Like they were wondering, what are they going to do with the Boo saga? Like how can they make this better than it was? And now that it's canceled, people won't ever know. It should have been handled more professionally though. And because of that, I feel like people just I feel like some people lost respect for TFS in general because of that situation. Because what literally made them grow was the one thing that got them stressed the most. And now that they've canceled it, all these fans who were here for Dragon Ball Z Abridged, like, they're fucking gone now.